The Melbourne Cup, I think, is so special because it's part of Australia's history. The old saying goes, you always wait till the clock tower. I knew I was confident on picking up crime scene. He was brilliant getting to the line.
Shocking drawing away. It's shocking to win the Melbourne Cup from crime scene.
To the public's eye, it obviously looks like it's going to be a really close finish, but I knew that he had that little bit extra over Johannes Vermeer, that last 50 metres.
Stride for stride, Rekindling has won the Emirates Melbourne Cup.
It's such a hard race to win, and to have won it twice, I still can't believe it. Corey Brown, two-time Melbourne Cup winner. First year, 2009, shocking. Second year, 2017, Rekindling. The Melbourne Cup, I think, is so special because it's part of Australia's history. The year before I won it on shocking 2009, I ran one of the closest seconds ever on a horse called Bauer. To watch that for the next 12 months was like a nightmare, watching that replay over and over.
Feud holding on, Bauer dives. Feud has got it by a nose.
2009 shocking, I'd actually received a phone call from the trainer Mark Kavanagh very early on in the spring asking me to ride Shocking. The path that he was going to take, Shocking was only ever going to carry 51 kilos. He was never going to get a penalty with the path that he was taking with him. So he booked me quite early. Unfortunately, in the Caulfield Cup, I ran second on a horse called Vigour. My manager went straight out and accepted the ride in the Melbourne Cup, but he was so far down on the weights, he was never going to get in the race. And Mark Kavanagh got really upset with me and said that he's going to have to find another jockey, which we knew he didn't have to find another jockey because Shocking was always going to be in the field and Vigour was never going to be in the field. So he actually took me off on the Saturday and put Michael Rod, his stable rider, on.
And off they go.
The good thing about the run, they worked out how to ride him. In the previous races that I'd ridden him, Mark always told me that I had to get going on the horse because he was one paced at about the 700, 600. And Michael Rod held the horse up. He didn't want to give him a gut-busting run, but they held him up until about the 300-metre mark, and they realised that he actually had a great turn of foot when he was held up. So we worked out how to ride him.
Shocking, 3 lengths in front as it shot to bits, and Shocking scored eased up. That's a very good win. Beat Hume 2.5.
That didn't go to plan in the Melbourne Cup though. I jumped from a bad barrier and I was the only horse to be posted 3 wide. But the good thing about that year, they went so slow that all the other horses weren't into a good rhythm, they weren't breathing properly. There's a lot of jockeys screaming for room and complaining about the speed of the race. The only time I've seen a bit of cover was coming to about the 800-metre mark. Kieran McAvoy on crime scene popped out to be in the 4 wide line. I was lucky enough to find his back and give him a small breather before I approached the home turn. But the moment I found his back, my horse just picked up the bridle and just become this racehorse. He just felt so good underneath me. It's really weird. You watch movies and you see things slow down and you're in this like bubble and you can't hear anyone else on the movie screen. But it actually happens in real life. When I straightened for home and I felt the winner, it was like I just went into my own little zone. Couldn't really hear the crowd. All you can really hear is yourself breathing. So it's actually true. The old saying goes, you always wait till the clock tower. I knew I was confident on picking up crime scene. I got a little bit itchy just before the clock tower when I released him, but he had no weight on his back. He was brilliant getting to the line.
It's on the outside, Shocking and crime scene. Shocking with his head in front of crime scene. Shocking drawing away. It's Shocking to win the Melbourne Cup from crime scene.
I definitely think it felt a lot better than what it normally would after the year before finishing such a close second on Bauer. Yeah, I think it just exaggerated the feeling that I got. It's really, really hard to explain the feeling after you win the Melbourne Cup. I always say if I could bottle it, that feeling, and give everyone a taste of it, you couldn't put a price on it. It's just, yeah, it's such an amazing feeling. I only had a couple of rides, I think, after I won it on Shocking in the Melbourne Cup. I went over to Singapore and spent a long time over there riding. So I just actually got back into Australia maybe 7 or 8 months before the Melbourne Cup, and my wife said that the girls are old enough now to go to the Melbourne Cup, so she's booking, accommodation and flights to go down. And I actually said, I don't even know if I'm going to be riding in the Melbourne Cup this year because I just returned home. I was lucky enough, a couple of months out, my manager at the time, Paul, he said, there's a horse over in Ireland, Joseph O'Brien trains, it's owned by Lloyd Williams. He said, it'll get a lightweight. He said, I think it'll be a super chance. And yeah, I was lucky enough to land myself on the next year's winner. I had 5 minutes to bond with the horse. The first time I seen him in the flesh was as he was walking around the enclosure with my saddle on. So I got on the horse, only had 5 minutes between getting on and going into the barriers to bond with him. He was an easy horse to ride. He had such a light weight and a really good barrier. I knew if he got a needle eye opening at any stage once he entered the straight, he was going to be a super chance after watching his replays over in Ireland.
Stand by, and they're racing in the Melbourne Cup. Humidor jumped away only fairly and got
I'd had a
little bit of
trouble-free
brush.
run. I obviously drew a soft barrier, so I didn't have to do any work going down the straight the first time. I was following a horse here, Max Dynamite, ridden by Zach Purton, and the whole carnival, obviously this is on the Tuesday, but all day Saturday, all the winners were coming hard against the inside fence. There was a track where we call it basically having a travelator on the inside, and coming to about the 500, I could see Zach wanting to get back towards the fence. And the moment he dove back in towards to take the inside run, it just opened up. It was like the heavens opened up for me. To the public's eye, it obviously looks like it's going to be a really close finish, but for the jockey and the horse that's beneath you, it's the feeling that the horse is going to give you that extra gear. And you can feel that in your hands, the way that they're travelling. I knew that he had another gear to go, although he didn't win by a big margin and he was stretched out to 2 mile. I knew that he had that little bit extra over Johannes Vermeer, that last 50 metres.
Johannes Vermeer and Rekindling, stride for stride. Rekindling has won the Emirates Melbourne Cup. Ridden by Corey Brown, his second Melbourne Cup.
The second time around, I think I enjoyed it a lot better because I had the whole family there to enjoy it with me. It's not very often a sports person gets to enjoy winning like that, where you can have your family right beside you. I know they're not on the horse with you, but when you come back and that feeling that's going through your body, when they're there, it was just, yeah, it was electric. Again, it's one of those moments, you're in your own little bubble, you can hear the crowd there, but you're just soaking up this emotion, this feeling that you work so hard for. Yeah, it's really, really hard to explain that feeling, but it's a great moment. It's such a hard race to win, and to have won it twice, I still can't believe it.